It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I saw a 6-foot snake around the middle of the road, and I thought it was fake, so I picked up the road.
Hello, we are here back at the river camp in Austria. It's been about a month and almost actually 2 months since I was here last time filming. We've had so much rain since then, it's been absolutely impossible. It's the last day of May. As you can see, completely different weather from last time. Back with the Cadence CSM 9-foot 4-weight rod, reel and line. And it's a little bit bright obviously, and there's about still twice the amount of water that should be in here, but it's running relatively clear. So we should catch fish. We're going to start off nymphing, and hopefully when we get to maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we'll get a bit of dry fly fishing as well. If I see anything rising on the way up, then we'll just make a mental note, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Before I start off here, this is the same place that I filmed from in the first video, and that was at the start of April. This is now the end of May. It's completely different bit of countryside to what it was. So yeah, I'll just get finished getting ready, and we'll see you down there. Let's go and do it. Right, here we are at the first pool. It's usually quite a good one. It's not to say that we'll catch anything, but we'll give it a go. I'm just going to fish the nymph, just in a kind of upstream searching mode basically. We've got a nice big fat woolly indicator on, so we'll see if anything happens, hopefully. Try one across there. Nope. Again. Oh, there's a little fish just rose beside me. There's some flies coming off already, but not enough to really target anything. Ah, the little guy. A wee brownie. We'll bring him in. Now, he's only a wee guy, but he's welcome to start with. We've actually caught fish. Now, there we go. Perfection. No? On the little side, but we'll take him. Now, we'll just slip the hook out. He's such a small little mouth on him, I just want to be careful. There we go. Goodbye, son. Well, if you see it, they'll have it. I want to get a little bit closer to the trees, but I just don't fancy losing the nymph. It's a wee bit early for that kind of malarkey. But it does look like a brilliant spot right underneath there. And of course I put it into the trees. Oh, I come out of the trees. No. Just trying to clip it under. It's a little bit tricky. It flies a wee bit on the heavy side for doing this. That's better. Once you get up past the tree, it'll be a bit easier. This tree wasn't here in March when I fished this. Before, when I filmed it in April, it wasn't here either. And it's not the most graceful cast, I'll be honest about it. Oh, and there's a fish. another little guy. It might be the way today that we're going to get a whole bunch of these little guys. When the sun comes out here, it generally is the way that the bigger fish just they're not really up for playing. And the best chance of getting anything bigger is certainly going to be in the shade until the evening comes around. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. I mean, I said that in the last video that I made with the big rainbow trout. I was very well, we'll see what happens. And I got the biggest fish I've had in a while. Strip the slow water down first. Now we'll try and fish that current. Oh, I'm caught in my net. Oh, it's off again. I might just. Oh, it's a better fish, I think. Not huge probably, but he's pulling. Oh, he's a wee bit bigger. Not a massive fish by any means, obviously, but we'll take him. And just look at the colours on that. Look at the colours. Out of this world. Right fish, thank you very much. Goodbye. And obviously I was using this cadence rod in the last video for the rainbows. And it's a 4... If I can stop catching the fish, I'll get a word in. Let's swing him in. Oh, right, son. Yeah, I was using it with the rainbows, and it performed so well with, I mean, that big fish at the end. But I'd love to see what it does with one of these really big trout in here. I mean they are here. They're there. Little tweaks there. They're here to catch. They're just not the easiest fish to tempt. Certainly not with nymphs and tries. But I'd love to see how this rod handles them. I reckon it would do a fine job. Right, we're just going to have a little look in here on the way up because I'd like to fish this later on in the evening, it dries. It's a cracking bit of water. There's always fish in it. And you get the fish in close under the trees. You get the fish out in the middle under the rocks. Any of the dead sticks and the dead trees over in there. You get fish cover everywhere here. And again, it changes every year. For the last 3 or 4 years, there's been a much bigger tree has come out where that one's coming out there just now, you'll probably see. And it made a definite, like, kind of barrier that the trout used to just line up behind, and that's gone, but it's meant, yeah, it just means that it's all different. We'll keep on walking up. Get the line off the grass. It's always just interesting having a wee peep over. I mean, like I say, the water's usually a bit lower and a little bit clearer, but it's not bad just now. I mean, it's going to make it awkward fishing some of the pools for sure. But we'll have a look. This is usually a good spot. There's a fish there. It's a better fish as well. There's 2 of them. It's always worth having a look in these spots when you walk up. Just to keep a mental note, if you've seen a fish holding. There's one there in front of me just now. I could practically drop a fly over him and he'd take it. I won't do it just now because I can't be bothered getting down to the water just now because I want to fish this later on, but he's just down there. Not big, but where there's one, there's usually more. Oh, that's a better fish. Not huge still, but they're there. This is it. Something about this little spot from this tree to the second one where the branch really comes down low. There's always better fish holding here. It goes right under the bank, further down there. Anyhow, I'm curious because it's we're long overdue some proper dry fly fishing this year. You used to see some big chub down here, but I've not seen any for years now. Like really big chub. Fish over the £5 mark. But I've not seen any. And I come to think of it for a few years. Again, this is all good water here. Especially on that far side, you've got the dead chisel fish just rose there. That's also changed. There was much more debris, like dead trees, sticks, branches, at intervals all the way down there, but they've all washed away with the high water this year, and they've just left like one or two. So that's actually the first time that's been fully accessible for a few years as well. So I'm looking forward to fishing all this later on. And fish it we will. And like I say, if we get a definite hatch, if anything, then we'll do our best to match it, and if not, we'll just fish with like generic patterns. Attractor style patterns, something to get their attention and bring them up. It usually works. Of course, in about maybe 2 or 3 weeks time, this place will be crawling with stoneflies, and that's when we can start fishing with like size 8s and size 6s and stuff. Just big lumps up. There's a lizard. Another lizard. They're everywhere just now. It'd be cool if we could film one of them. I'm curious if we get any snakes as well today. As much as I would dearly love to put on the wet wading gear when I come here when it's hot. Place is just full of snakes, and it's full of ticks. So that kind of knocks that idea firmly in the head. I mean, the only poisonous snakes we've got here are adders, and we've only ever seen one here before. But there's lots of other ones. And although they're non-venomous, I still don't, lizard, I still don't need to be bitten by one. Especially when you get things like the escalip snakes that they go up to about 1.5, nearly 2 metres. And they mainly eat rats and shit like that, so I don't really fancy getting bitten by one of them. But yeah, if we see anything, we'll try and film it. Right, we're back at the river again. We're back at the next pool that we're going to fish. Just give it a couple of chucks up here first. We've still got on the same nymph under the indicator. Oops, a bit too shallow. Oh, it's a bit of a better fish. It's not huge, but it's a bit bigger. It's just sitting at the edge of those rocks. There we go. Oh, they're increasing in size, and they're not decreasing in numbers, so we're happy. Oh, there we go. Get the fly out if I can. That's it. There we go. A bonny fish. Goodbye. Oh, there's the odd caddis coming down as well, just to lay eggs. But sadly, the best caddis time here is usually May, and I think I've cried about that long enough. What happened this year in May? The reason that the river's this height just now is because of what happened in May. So I suppose on one side it must have been a very successful breeding season for the Granham caddis. Oh, there's one. Oh, he's a bit better. Again, I think he's not huge, but he's a wee bit. Oh, get up from out of there. God, they pull. Again, they're wild fish, they should pull. This has got a bit of damage on it, and I'm just imagining it. Oh aye, it's been hit by a bird. Right, it's been hit by a bird, see? Oh dear. Well, and give them the benefit of the doubt. We do get goosanders on here. Not too many, thankfully. We've had cormorants in the past, but he's come up to say hello. We've had cormorants in the past, but that's very much, it's never a permanent feature. And the first osprey that comes through sees the cormorants, says go away and stay away. There we go, there's another little guy. Well, we're certainly catching plenty of fish. Can't argue about that. Certainly can't complain about it. There's so many fish in this river. It is ridiculous. Come on. It's non-stop. It's what I was kind of expecting this afternoon when I come up here. And like I say, let's, with a bit of luck, we'll get a hatch this evening, and then we can start picking off some better fish. And there is another fish. Oh God, he's tiny. Jesus. I suppose this is also one good, I mean, you've got all the arguments and all the discussions on social media about using barbed hooks or barbless hooks. And I've always said that, in my mind's eye, you've got to use the hooks that make the most sense for the situation that you're fishing in. So like on a river like this just now with so many small trout, if you fish with barbed hooks, it's going to be pretty detrimental at some point. Putting the fish back that size, you want them to go back with as little fuss as possible, and certainly with as little damage as possible. Whereas if I was fishing from a drifting boat in Scotland for sea trout, I wouldn't really feel too confident with a barbless hook. Seeing how much time they spend out of the water and you hook them. But yeah, I'd never feel comfortable using barbed hooks in here, just with the fact that every time you come here, regardless of the time of day or the time of year, you're always going to catch quite a lot of small fish during the day. And that's the future for everything else that's in here. And barbless hooks being made to the quality that they're made nowadays, if you do have to fish barbless, you've got no real issues with it usually. I mean, the ones I'm using for the majority of my fishing in Austria are from Hanak, and I used to use regular Camazan hooks that I tie all my flies for Scotland on. I used to use them and just flatten down the barb, and I've actually found that I'm landing more fish on the Hanaks than on the Camazans when they've been debarbed. Oh, that is a better fish. That actually is a better fish. Finally, it's not huge, but he's by a good bit the biggest fish we've had today so far. Oh aye, we'll have to stick you in the net. Oh, well, you could have stuck him in the net if I'd landed him. Still, I heard there's one, there'll be more. Typically, I land every small fish I hook today and lose every bigger fish. And I always need huge fish, but 3/4 of a pound maybe. Still, nice to have on. Even nicer to have landed it if it would have been possible. Try one through there. Right, we're going to put a few up to right to the very head of this pool, and then we'll get up to the next one. Probably just a little bit too. Oh, there's a fish just chased down them because I was pulling it out. Raced up straight behind it just to see me pull it out in front of it. I follow the bite indicators, strike indicators to give them the proper name, that I've used over the years. I still prefer the New Zealand ones, or the New Zealand system, the best, with the sheep's wool. For a number of reasons. First reason is that I've no interest in just leaving lots of plastic behind me if I lose the indicator. And I've been at some rivers over here where people have used the kind of clip-on plastic ones, and it's been like a sea of orange and fluorescent yellow and greens and stuff floating down the river the whole day. You shouldn't be in there, in my opinion. I mean, if you lose that indicator, it's a bit of wool, you know. I think the planet will handle it. Alright, and it's lovely to cast, and you're not extremely flexible as well in its application, so you can always put a bit more or take a bit out or whatever to suit the weight of the fly. But this will be the last run through we'll give it here. Yeah, I think we've found all the inhabitants. Or they've seen me. Probably there's a higher likelihood of the second option. Let's try one up here. Such a good looking spot. You've got that lovely seam in the middle. Oh, there's definitely a fish up there once he's rose. It's just above for a cast the fly, and there is one. Oh, he's, I don't know. Maybe he's making himself feel big, or no, he's actually quite decent. Oh, he's giving it everything, this one. He's not huge, but he's giving it everything. Let's see if we can actually get one of these better fish. I mean, it's not huge, but let's see if we can get one of them actually in the net. It's hooked well enough, so we should get it. As I lose it, probably. No, he's deciding to go down the river. Come on. Just be a bit gentler, just for the video. Just to get one of the slightly better fish into the net. Like I say, he's no huge, but you'd be happy catching that all day. There we go. So, let's have a look at you. He's a wee cockfish. Does the fly come out? Yes. And there we have it. Let's just put him up. Oh, bonny trout. And very well received. Alright. Let's try one up here. If I can get in. No, I couldn't. That's just touching the bottom there. Giving me taps as it's coming down. Of course, oh, there he goes. A wee bit of depth made a bit of difference. He's not huge, but he's all right. We'll take him. Now, there we go. Again, perfect condition. Nice little brownie. Try one more chuck. We're not had the cast straight up ahead yet. Another little fish rising. He's about the smallest fish in the river still. See if we can just let you out on the water. I hate the thought of hurting these wee guys. Here you go. It's that match fishing for brown trout. Right, we're up a wee bit again. Another phenomenon you get over here in Austria when you see guys fishing in rivers or lakes, you just go to one spot and don't move. Oh yeah, that's a better one. Let's see if we can. Oh, he's not that big. I thought he was bigger than he was at first. Let's see if I can lose this one. Oh no! Oh, there you go. On cue. He wasn't massive. We'll live with that. So we're at the next pool. We change over to a dry fly. Fishing a single caddis. Just a general kind of granum imitation caddis. Just a basic caddis really. Nothing else special about it. I'm not expecting too much action in this water just now in front of me because, as you'll see, the deeper the water gets, the cloudier it is. But on this side the water shallows off again and it's usually a good spot for fish holding. But we'll still give it a few clicks up as we go, and we'll certainly give it some chucks over there. Beautiful bit of water. Again, it's a kind of perfect trout pool. It gets deeper on the right hand side and then it shelves up a little bit further down. But it's again another titan coming to hand. What can you do? It'd be great if there was a little ejector button on these hooks. You could just transmit and let these wee guys go and not have to give them the hassle of bringing them in. There we go. We wouldn't normally even fish a caddis quite as big as this time of the year, but because of the extra water and because of the colour, they might just need that little bit more to kind of to home in on. But we'll see. There's a few large brook duns flying about as well. And if anything happens with them, it'll certainly happen later rather than sooner. Oh, there's a fish just rose in there. I don't know what size it was. There's a fish just rose. That should drift over him if he's still there. And there he is. Oh, and there he was. A wee bit quiet. I would have expected a bit more interest in this. Of course, maybe they're just not interested in the fly, do they? There's one. He's not a big fish, I think, but let's just see if we can. There he is. Oh, he's better than I thought. It's no massive, but he's... Oh, get out that stick. He's on a bloody stick. Come on, get out. He's not huge, but he's better than I thought. Lovely. So, I'll just bring you in and give you your freedom. Properly there. Look at that. That's more like it. You see just how shallow the water that fish was holding him. It's crazy. Right. Tatty bite. God. Of course, in your mind, when you hear that splash, it's a monster. It's probably about 6 inches or something. Can't even hit the fly. Oh God, that's the fish that made all that noise. Look at the size of it. Come on, son. We'll let you off in the water if we can as well. See if we can avoid bringing you out. Come on. No. Come on. No, he's well and truly. He's going to have to get them. That's it. You can sometimes just shake them off in the water. If you just get a hold of the hook and just twist it around and pull, you can usually just knock them off. But that one was a wee bit too adamant to hold on. Yeah, I think we'll just leave him alone. I don't think it was anything of any giant stature. Yeah, another one. Oh, a wee bit of a jump up. Now, there we go. Oh, he's fat. My goodness, he's been guzzling down carrots, I'd say. Look at that, just full belly up. Right, we're back. We've crossed over from that side. We've come back over to the left-hand side and we're going to fish this pool from basically here all the way up to where we came out at the last one. There's enough flies in the air. There's some caddis. There's some small upwings, I can't see what they are. There's some large brook duns. There's plenty of flies in the water. There's lots of these little gnats buzzing around and yeah, they just buzz about. I don't think the trout seriously take them on. But there's enough life. Even saw a couple of yellow sallies flying about. So we're going to come in and we're just going to search this. I mean, if we see fish rising, we're going to cover them, but we're going to fish all the likely looking spots along here. And then we're going to work our way out into the middle and start casting over towards the far bank, and especially underneath these trees. That can be a super spot. Of course, if your first cast lands right in the trees, it's not so good. But there's plenty of fish rising. Nothing big so far that I've seen, but I mean it's hard to tell. And certainly when the water's like this, it's that little bit dirty. It makes it even harder. So what we're going to do first, if I can find it, we're just going to degrease the tippet. Sometimes in water like this it's not such an issue, but once we get under the trees, I mean it's something that I generally do when the water gets slower. If I'm fishing lochs, full stop, it's something that I do. Just so we don't have a nice big floating arrow leading directly to the fly. It does tend to make them a little bit shy. This is just homemade mud. I got a bag of Fuller's Earth for about £20. I reckon that'll last me for a lifetime. Alright, we'll just take the fly out as well. We'll just put a little bit of gink on it as well, just to get it sitting pretty. We've had some super evenings on this bit of water before. And just put some gink on. There we go. And just smear it in. Get it into the deer here. Taking the fly down a size as well for here, because the water's generally shallower. That's looking lovely. Right, I'm just going to put one up to the stone. I reckon I might have to put on a different dry. It's just not coming up for it. I'm saying it's a hook one. Oh, come on. Stay on, please. He's not huge. He's just making himself look really big and feel really big. But he's a very welcome visitor. There we go. Look at that. Just perfection. Right, we'll get this chap unhooked. There we go. And Bonnie wee treat. I think we're going to try a different dry fly just for the fun of it. I think we're going to put on something just substantially bigger and see if we can get a better view at it. Well, let's see. I'll put my Caddis box in here. There's not been a lot of chance to use any of these this year so far. It's been a little bit too wet. We'll pop that one away. And we'll bring out something a bit bigger. You can probably see I do have a lot of deer here. I like my deer here. I'm going to put on a humpy. Just go a little bit outside the box. Maybe it's what they need to see. Maybe they just need to see something a bit bigger to bring them up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, good God! Tell you, there's truth in that. There's truth in that social media meme about the fishing test. Every year it gets harder to tie on a hook. There's truth in that, I'm afraid. There we go. Right, we're back. We've got a much bigger, we've got a size 10 or a 12 humpy on just now. And see if we can actually draw a fish out from underneath that bank with it. Almost like just give it those little speedy up, slow down, bends all the way around. Done this loads of times here. It's the way that I fish stoneflies actually. But maybe the fish just need a little bit more to lock into. Certainly going to be interesting fishing this fly further up on the left hand side between all the dead trees. Nope, not interested. Right, enough of that. Let's keep on going up the river. We've got about an hour's worth of fishing and I've got to head back to Vienna. It'll work tomorrow. I'm just trying to think where to finish off and how to finish off this session tonight. Oh, He was never going to stay on. He needs a minute to hook that fish. They come towards you so fast. And that fish is sunk by that. They come towards you so fast. And then they've not got the most weight on them in the world. It's a nightmare keeping them on. But then again, they're not trophy fish by any stretch of the imagination, so you can live with it. This fish is causing a lot of commotion up here. I'd be interested in that one. I'm surprised we didn't get any more action down by the trees though. Well, that was certainly a lovely take. It's just I can't keep up with him. It's just a wee fish. But it was a lovely take. What an acrobat you are, son. He's not exactly going to make any. He's not going to be sent off to get a replica made, that's for sure. Now, it's interesting, but it's just how the river's different every year. There's some years where there's a definite, there's a noticeable amount of just better than average sized fish getting caught, and then there's other years where you get just smaller than average sized fish getting caught. Oh, you're getting targeted. This fish just rose right at the side of the rock. Yep. Of course, he might not still be there. Ah, he was though. It's a better fish, I think. He's not huge, but let's see what can. Ah, he's respectable enough. Be happy catching them all day. Come on. Come here. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Come on. There we go. It is. Moving in the right direction again. It's just perfect fish. I don't know how anybody actually seriously would be unhappy catching these fish all day. It's just little works of art. Everyone's different as well. There's none the same. This fish just came out of nowhere. Oh God, I don't know how big it is. It's not that big. It just came out of nowhere. I got my fly stuck in a stick, and I gave it one little cast upstream, and this guy just came out and nailed it. He's a fat wee thing. I get the fly out. Come on. God, you'd swear there was a barb in that. There he is. Bonny wee fish. I'll put you back in. He just ran. He just swam out like intent on killing that fly. It's unbelievable. God, it's a pity I didn't get that in camera. Right, we'll keep it on just for the rest of the time. I thought I was going to be done and dusted there because I first cast into that area and I put it straight onto a stick. The fact that actually anything was even willing to take it was more than enough. After there's me walking up through the pool basically. Oh, it's the sun going down. It's not going to be a lot of time left now. It's getting chilly as well, isn't it? Of course, being up to my testicles in water doesn't help matters. There's a fish. He's not a big one, but it's a fish. I'm sure there's going to be at least one or two little fish in here. There we go. God. Get out of this particular height of water. Right, we're finished. It was a good afternoon session, good evening session. A little bit slow, Lots of fish, nothing huge. Best fish is about £1. But I mean, you can't complain. I mean, it's just getting dull just now. Sun's going down. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's getting cold. It's not ideal, but sure. I mean, blazing hot sunshine, high water that's a little bit coloured. It's not ideal, but we're not going to make it. I mean, there's no need to make any excuses because we caught plenty of fish. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.